It is that time again and here at Breaking Boundaries podcast. Really excited you all are reading it properly. I am so eager to delve into today's topic. I hope everybody's having an amazing week. This is the time for us to really elevate and come together. Let's join together here as one as we're moving along to an incredible episode. In today's fast paced corporate world, yes, I got to tell you, if you don't have this down packed, if you're thinking your communication is stellar, you don't believe that sharpening it is going to make a difference. You believe that everybody adheres to your beckoned voice. Your voice sounds like an angelic aroma that comes into the room, then this is not for you. Because I want to share with those who are HR executives, seasoned professionals, managers, and those who are looking to actually expose a different demeanor, a different character within themselves on how to elevate their communications. Well, here you are. Because I got to tell you, effective communication isn't just an added bonus, it's the cornerstone of successful leadership. I know if you all coming in for the first time and wondering, who is here in front of you? Say no more. I'm really excited to be part of you all in experience, and so elated that you're deciding to come into this empowering podcast and episode. I'm your host, Ruth McCracken, and I got to tell you, today's episode is somewhere where it really hits home for me because I speak to hundreds of HR executives, leaders, and those who find it to be a huge deficit and they're wanting to be able to not overlook it anymore. And so, as your host today, I want to go in a deeper delve with you in this topic that's often overlooked, but absolutely critical for leaders across the board and seasoned leaders. We're taking a pretty much in a different approach when it comes to barriers in communications. What are you doing today that maybe not be as much as effective as you would like it to be, that can silently also sabotage your leadership effectiveness? If you've ever wondered why your message, that's it, aren't responding or resonating the way they should, or why your team isn't fully aligned with your vision, this episode is then also is for you. So I'm really excited. I do want us to go ahead and share, like, and subscribe, because this is going to be a complete game changer. It's going to blow your mind away. It's going to be so good. Let me know if you're ready, because again, I want you to walk away knowing the three game changing communications secrets every leaders must master. I used to be horrible at communication. I was, for one, thought that how am I going to empower others? How am I going to engage with my team or with my clients if my communication suck? So it takes hundreds, hundreds of hours of practice, my friend. And if you've been in the industry or if you've been in your particular role for massive years and you're finding this to be a stumbling block, then I'm telling you, let's pick it up today to get started. Imagine being a highly respected HR executive, right? Known for your strategic brilliance and result driven mindset. Yet, that's it. Yet, you pretty much, despite your best efforts, you notice a disconnect with your team. Let me know in the comments if you are finding yourself in some sort of cycle where your team morale is now being looked upon or maybe shifting in a different direction. They seem disengaged, projects falling through the cracks, and there's a growing sense of what? Frustration on all sides. How many of you all are still with me? This is the experience of one of my clients, a seasoned leader who realized that despite of her years of experience, her communication style was creating more barriers than bridges. What are you wanting to do to help create more bridges? What are you doing that's now going to go ahead and take a shift or a different direction? She was missing a key element that was holding her back from the leadership mastery that she thought she already successfully did or was already accomplished or achieved. Well, I got to tell you this. This is the time that I want to be able to, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it to you that you take these three game changing communication secrets so you can be able to elevate and effectively impact not just your career, not just your team, but ultimately your life? I got to say, I'm really excited for you as well. So that's why we're here. Because in today's fast paced corporate world, effective communication isn't just about speaking clearly, it's about making sure your message, yes, lands with precision and impact. We'll break down three critical elements every leader must master. What are you doing? Sometimes we just kind of say we're going with the flow, or I'm doing my job, Ruth. I'm in my position. I've been doing it for maybe 5 years now, 10 years, multiple decades. I think I'm pretty sufficient. I think what I have is enough to navigate the leadership role in a very diplomatic way. But wouldn't it be worth it to sharpen it? Wouldn't it be worth it to see what surveys are putting out there and what other team members and others are saying in the workplace? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to break it down to you. The first thing that I find to be excessively underrated, because people think they're listening, but they're waiting for you to finish your sentence, right? Active listening. This isn't just about, oh, hearing words or waiting until they're done and then you jump in with yours, not even depositing anything that they have said to register or be engaging. It's about fully engaging and understanding the unspoken needs of your team or of your leaders or of you when it comes to your clients. Active listening is imperative. It's so critical. Now, that's the first way to do it. And I want you to be able to think of it as if you're talking to, how many of you all have teenagers? How many of you all maybe have teenagers and now they're adulting? Or better yet, you have some, and that's in elementary, and they're as if they're adulting. Are you giving yourself grace to listen to them? I'm not talking about gentle parenting. I'm speaking in a way where you are giving them the ear to hear, but you're fully understanding them. Although they're still growing, you want to give them the grace to listen to whatever they're saying, right? Even if they're wrong or even if they're right. The whole purpose is you're wanting to be able to shed some light and adding some active listening. Is this helpful? Let me know in the comments that this is moving you and driving you in the right direction. Number two, this is real good. Purposeful clarity. Your words have power, but they must be clear and direct. Ambiguity. This right here can lead to misinterpretation that derail your goals. I do believe, and that's according to scripture, death and life are in the power of your tongue. The question you want to ask yourself is, are you going to choose death or are you going to choose life? Are you going to create a spiritual contract between you and your team or your clients or within your organization as you're speaking with your peers and using the words that scientifically is proven as well that it carries and weighs a lot of power? That's why you have to tread very lightly on what comes out of this vehicle called your mouth. Who would agree? And if that is something that you're still wanting yourself to purposely make to come into pass, then you need to be able to do this. Emotional intelligence. Number three. Oh, this is so, so good. Listen, this is something that I want to embark on you, and you might be hearing this. How many of you all are hearing this through the grapevine, are hearing this as it's continued to emerge and it's continued to evolve? Understanding the emotional dynamics of your team can be the difference between a thriving workplace and a toxic one. So the question you want to ask yourself is, I want you to know, am I looking to create a very healthy work space or place, or am I more so yielding on a toxic one. I want to be able to explore how to cultivate EQ to manage relationships effectively and inspire loyalty. Yes? What are you doing to inspire loyalty? I want you to reflect on this particular scripture, Proverbs 18:13. I want you to be able, it's going to be more geared to answer before listening. Oftentimes, even in relationships and within our life, and within your partner's life, and within your life, you'll sit there at the edge of the seat, just eager for them to wrap up and close whatever they're looking to say so you can charge in with your sentence. But that is a folly and shame. How can you actively listen to transform your leadership approach? You got to answer before listening. Got to answer. You want to be able to answer before listening, but that's a folly and shame. You should be shameful because how are you reiterating what they just expressed or what their concerns are? Let me know if that's something that you're wanting to make difference on. Now, consider this one is really hitting home for me. I really resonate with Ephesians 4:29. Do not let any unwholesome, basically, let me repeat that again. Do not let any unwholesome talk about come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others, not down, but building others up. How does this guide your commitment to clearly be clear, basically, and purposeful communication? You want to be clear, you want to have clarity, you want to be able to drive an effective communication. Then I want you to be able to know, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth. Again, we spoke about it. I spoke about it earlier. Death and life is in the power of your tongue. So I want to challenge you to choose life. Ruth, you don't know the type of people that I work with. You don't know the type of Karens and the Debbie Downers. Listen, I get it. But is it worth you demolishing your character as a leader? How are you making it a win-win situation? Are you truly listening or just waiting for your turn to speak? Discover the art of active listening, my friend. I want you to be able to take your message and get it to be able to translate. And also, not only translate, I want you to be able to know how well do you understand the emotional undercuts of your team? Are you cultivating emotional intelligence in your conversations? Could it be the secret sauce to stronger relationships and higher team performance? You didn't think about that. Now is the time to do so, my friend. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth going forward. Who's ready? But that which is good to use is to edify, that it may minister grace onto the hearers, onto your team, which is who are the hearers. How many of you all want them to hear you and also receive you? You're probably saying, Ruth, I'm just here to do my job and collect my check. I don't know why is it important or imperative of me to be able to have to proceed what's coming out of my mouth. I think I need to be assertive, yes, but I need to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of Karen every now and again. Do you really? Do you really have to come out of character? Do you really have to allow your spiritual acumen to be tested in trial and truth? Why? Why does that have to happen? Consider this. How often do your words empower those around you? Start reflecting. Reflecting on the impact your communication has not only on your team's morale, the engagement, and overall success of your team, as well as the overall organization. Will you take action today? As we approach halfway, listen, we're already approaching. It's already over the hump. As we're marking of the year, it's already over the hump. This is the perfect time to reassess, refine your communication skills. And there's so many platforms out there as we're streaming here on multiple platforms. the question you want to ask yourself is, the strategies that we've just embarked today will not only help you overcome self-limiting beliefs, but also position you as a more effective, empathetic, and impactful leader. We need you to come out and be able to come out into the courts and really leverage your voice and do it in a very holistic way as you're growing and evolving and developing an effective way of communicating with your teams and also your leaders. I want you to practice this, practice it daily. Give yourself grace. I kid you not, this is something that mainly can be either one, it can work for you or it can work against you. I think you're more wanting it to work for you. Am I right? Let me know if that's the angle that you're wanting to achieve. What's one communication challenge you faced as a leader? I want you to answer that with me so I can come with you to the retreats inside of the comment section. Share your experience in the comments below. We're here to learn and grow what? Together. So oftentimes we learn from each other's mistakes here in the community. Have you ever maybe experienced a communication perhaps breakdown that not only impacted your team's success, but what did you learn from it? How did you grow from it? I want you to really take heed on what I'm asking. And another thing I think will help as well as an actual way to enhance and increase some of the muscles that you may not be accustomed of using is, which of the three communication secrets do you feel most challenged by on the ones I shared with you here on the screen? How do you plan to address them moving forward? Because it's important. I really want you, and for you to maybe for those who are coming in, you're wondering, well, what was the three that you talked about? Active listening, purposeful clarity, words that, have power, but they must be clear and direct. We talked about that. What, you don't want it to derail your goals. Active listening, be more to hearing and be fully engaged, even rephrasing what you heard or thought you heard, just to make sure you're on the same page and the same accord. And then finally, emotional intelligence, understanding the emotional changes and the dynamics. If you're looking to innovate your team, what is the difference between a thriving workspace and a toxic workspace? So the question you want to ask yourself is, I want to lean more towards the way of thriving, correct? So this is an opportunity for you to sit, fully do a brain dump. I would recommend, and maybe even consult this one-to-one with a mentor, become a mentee. How many of you all thrive, but just don't know the direction on fully developing your leadership style and your leadership communications to thrive, to be more effective? I challenge you to there's so many out there. Do some research, do some digging, do some studying. If you're wanting to learn more with me, I would love to take the opportunity, if you stay tuned to the end, and invite you to our live Zoom event that's happening. And actually, it already happened, and you might have missed it. And it's going to happen again in the end of September. And I don't want you to miss that one. Is Boost Your Brand Online. And I got to tell you, it's going to be so, so good. It's going to be, we had an amazing time. People were coming out of our intimate session where they were coming through and say, Ruth, I didn't even know that this was part of LinkedIn. I may not be knowing how to fully maximize my personal brand and leveraging my networking components in today's modern time. That you don't want to miss out. If you missed out on the one yesterday, there's no replays. It's live. It's live, and then we will have it in the third week of September. You do not want to miss it, and I think you're going to love it. Actually, it's going to be the last Thursday of September. I just want to make myself clear as I'm looking at the calendar. So it's going to be the last Thursday of September. We'll go ahead and put the link somewhere in below because you do not want to miss it. I'm really excited and super elated. But let's get back to the current opportunity at hand. I definitely want you to be able to consider, how often do your words empower those around you? And most importantly, reflect on the impact on your communication, because I want you to be able to grow and I want you to thrive. And it matters to me that you do all of that. Yes. So if you are ready, As I mentioned to you before, I'm going to share with you in the link below or in the comments below. Boost your brand online. The LinkedIn's 5 pillars in personal branding strategy. It's going to be epic. It's going to be so game changing, so transformational, and it's actually instilling you to take action. I do believe a lot of people like to basically gather information, but this is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a lot different. You're actually implementing and taking action. So every boundary we break, guess what? Is a step to our greater and greatest potential that we have resided in us. So do know this as we wrap up, and I would love for you to leave you with this here at Breaking Boundaries podcast because it matters to you. It matters to you. Your words have the power to shape your reality. Use them wisely. Lead with what? Clarity, and elevate those around you. Elevate those around you. And do it with empathy. Do it with authority and assertiveness. But most importantly, do it with the addition that I love to add, which is basically do it with compassion. Compassion is definitely something that we all are working on, and it's something that I want you to desire to do as you continue to thrive. So, thanks again for joining here at Breaking Boundaries. Let's go ahead because every boundary we break is a step closer to our greatest potential. All right, bye for now. See y'all next time.